Yo, Beth, that shit crazy.
On a Saturday, it's All Even with your boy Barry Grant. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at All Even Podcast. You can listen to the show on SoundCloud as well as YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, and wherever you find your podcasts available. And trust me, go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, because the page is growing, baby. That All Even wave. Get on that wave. Don't get left behind. Lots to get into. Of course, you hear my voice right now. I was at the Mets game last night, losing my mind because they won the game in extra innings. That's besides the point. Lots to get into. The Lakers, are they panicking yet? I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and discuss that. Also, Phone a Friend is back with Coach V. That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to speak to him. And then the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week. So let's just jump right into it. You know, growing up in the hood, it taught you lots of things. Taught you how to be smart, how to think on your feet, all types of stuff. But the one thing that it always taught you, whether you wanted to accept it or not, was how to stand on your square, right? How to stand up for yourself. You get picked on, you get beat up in the hood, and every day is the same thing. You get beat up, and you say, yo, all right, cool. Wait till my older brother comes back home. It's going to be a different story on this block. Wait till my older brother gets back home. It's going to be a different story on this block. Wait till my father gets here. Wait till my cousin gets here. Wait till my homies get here. But every day you getting beat up. You getting beat up by the same dudes. At some point, you have to stand on your square. You have to defend yourself. You have to actually stop looking for help. Doesn't this remind you of the Los Angeles Lakers right now? We've been hearing all year throughout the injuries, the bad play, the inconsistent rotations, the poor play. Oh, you know, when everybody gets healthy or LeBron comes back or when AD comes back, everything is going to be fine. Well, what do we have here? AD has been back for, probably 10 games or so. And he just had his breakout performance since he's been back. 36 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists on 12 of 23 shooting. But they lose. They lose bad. Dame Lillard lights them up. And the Lakers are now in the 7th seed, 7th place in the Western Conference, which means they are in the play-in tournament. And what do I keep hearing from people? Oh, well, when LeBron comes back, everything is going to be fine when the rotation settles down and everybody knows their role and blah, blah, blah. But why are we waiting for that to have this team play well? We all know what LeBron James brings to the table. But for what you're telling me, what everybody else is telling me is that this team is not independent. They're not self-sufficient. They can't figure it out without LeBron James. Now, granted, LeBron is a great player. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this is a championship team. This is a team that is the defending champions right now. And what I'm hearing is excuses. They can be able to play bad and play poor, and it's okay to sputter and stumble into the playoffs because LeBron James will be back. The gang will be all back. My cousin is coming. My brother's coming. Wait till my brother comes. It's that mentality. But what I see is a team that cannot stand on a square. They can't stand up for themselves. They can't have great performances. And don't even get me started on Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is supposed to be the third guy on this team. And look how he's looking. He had one of the worst games he's had as a professional in a clutch game against the Blazers. Shocked? No, I'm not shocked because this is what we've had to deal with. This is a team, like I said, they look like they cannot stand on their own. They're always looking behind them like, when is the help coming? We need help. No, you don't. This is a deep roster. Figure it out. Yes, when LeBron comes back, you guys will be better. But how you're playing right now is not championship level basketball. You can't beat anybody right now. The Lakers can't beat anybody right now in the NBA. Much less the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Blazers, the Jazz, all the top echelon teams in the NBA. They can forget about that if they don't take care of home base. You have to start playing well. You have to stop using these excuses like you're going to just be able to flip a switch. You cannot. That's not the way basketball works. You need chemistry. You need confidence. You need to be playing well. You can't go into the playoffs looking like this, especially in the Western Conference. So why should I not feel some type of concern or panic? Laker fans all over the place should be panicking. These analysts, commentators, they should be questioning the direction of this team. They should really be wondering what's going to happen if they'll even make the playoffs. Isn't that funny? The defending champions are on the verge of not making the playoffs. Frank Vogel, as much as I like him, what I've seen out of Frank Vogel, I'm starting to question some things. Montrezl Harrell has a DNP against Portland. So there's no way that he can be able to get on the court at all. It's just a Marc Gasol Drummond game, right? Those things to me don't make sense. Montrezl Harrell can't get on the court? Really? Like, what type of rotations are we seeing here? Kyle Kuzma has one of the worst games I've seen him have, but yet he still gets to jack bad shot after bad shot, turnover after turnover, but Trez has to sit on the bench and watch all this. That's not championship level coaching. And now I'm starting to question exactly what coach is doing. I really am. I'm concerned because I don't see a team that's ready for the playoffs. I don't see a team that's ready for a play-in tournament. So in the final games of the season, what are we going to see? Are we going to see this team stand up and fight? Or are we going to see a team that's waiting for help to come that may not be there? Coming up after the break, Phone a Friend with renowned basketball trainer Coach V on a Saturday. It's all even.
Yo, it's your man DJ G Money from that Flip the Script podcast. You see it? We in the studio right now. Flip, shut up. Yeah. Whoa, listen. Shout out to the All Even podcast. My man Barry Grant Jr. What's up, man? What happened? What you want to say to the people?
Shout out somebody else's podcast?
Yeah, don't make it the joint. What's up?
All Even.
All Even podcast.
Yo, it ain't even up here, boy. We put this what's up, man? All Even. Yo, you. Oh my God. What's up with you, man? Now that's a shout out. You keeping this?
Yeah, keep all that. You want to jump
All
in the
Even
camera?
podcast, right?
Yeah, All
Shout out
Even.
to All Even podcast, right? All Even. That's your man.
My man.
All right, shout out to All Even podcast.
100%. He cool. Is he cool? Let me see. Is he cool?
G. What is it, G? Oh. I said about G.
Cool, man.
Welcome back, y'all. So let's just get to my favorite segment, Phone a Friend.
Call him up, 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 call him up. Competing for a reason, trying to stay undefeated, yeah. Call him up, 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 call him up. Biggest game of the season, don't lie, we're all leaving, yeah.
Who we have on the show today is former professional basketball player overseas for FIBA. He played 18 years. He's a basketball coach. He's also a trainer. He has his own, training organization. Just founded that, Coach V Elite Training. Welcome to the show, VICKEN ESKIDJIAN. How you doing?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's an honor to have you on the show today. I'm a big fan. I follow your stuff. I've been, watching a lot of interviews that you've done. It's really, really a great story of how you've come up in this country and how you've established yourself. So, I definitely want to kind of get started with your basketball journey because, you played 18 years FIBA basketball, which is a huge accomplishment. That is a huge accomplishment to do
You know, where did your love of basketball begin? Did it start early, or was it something that you picked up late?
Compared to this era now, I think it's late. I started around 13, 14 years old.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it started with the school team. And when I played a tournament with the back home in Lebanon, with the, like, there is a school league is a little bit different than here. So when I joined that, and I saw like people cheering for the players, and
right.
I was like, and I was 13 years old. You know, you wanna impress the girls, you wanna impress the others. So,
absolutely.
yeah, that was, I think, the first spark to join a team and try to do what others were doing, so to get kind of fame or recognition. That was the first spark that got me into it.
Definitely. So, you know, with some kids, when they start, is it did you pick it up early? Like, was it something that came natural to you, or did you realize early on that I really have to work at this a little harder because I don't have those natural skill sets that some other people are? You know, you hear that some kids are just born to play basketball. Others, they really have to work at it to get those skills. So, you know, were you that type of kid, or did you really have to work at it?
At the beginning, it was a challenge because, okay, I'm a type of a guy, and I discovered myself at later on. I start thinking about it, like what got me into it, what was the thing that drove me to do these things.
Right.
I can teach to others, and that's how I started at the beginning. When they said to me that, hey, our first tryout with the school was like, the coach said, you know what, maybe basketball is not for you.
Right.
Maybe try something else.
Yeah.
And before basketball, I was in track and field, sprints and long jump.
Okay.
Like, so I was very good at sprinting. Naturally, I was gifted. My upper body was skinny, but my lower body was, from what I remember, was like my legs were huge, like,
right.
You know? and then I discovered that I have a jumping ability with it too.
Okay.
So, but I had maybe inclination or something towards being athletic. It's not gifted athletic, you know, but you have to put the work.
Absolutely.
So when I started putting the work, the athletic ability, since I did the track and field, that was another thing, helped me a lot, long jump and sprinting. So again, it was a challenge for me, but as a skill set, I didn't have nothing. I didn't know how to shoot. I didn't know how, I just knew that I can run when I started doing some layups and stuff.
Right.
But again, I didn't have a success at the beginning, definitely. But the challenge was like, I said, I'm going to prove them wrong. Like,
that's right.
I want to do it. Like, I really want to do it. And I got so pissed off, and I was so mad when they didn't pick me for the school team at the first time. And the way that they told me, there was a tryout. You know how the tryouts are like.
Yes.
They don't have time to pick everyone and look into every skills or possible talent that they might happen. But at that time, I'm not thinking like that. I'm thinking like, why they're not picking me? Like, I want to do this. So it was a challenge. I went home, I cried. I was so sad about it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to push harder. So my push harder at that time was like, I'm going to do some push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups and stuff like that. And I'm going to try it again.
Absolutely.
So I had a friend that played basketball, and there was a club team. So they were looking for young players. And I said, you know what, can I join there? They said, yeah, there is a tryout. You can go in. I went to a tryout. There was like 40 kids.
Wow.
And after second tryout, third tryout, coach eliminated like half of it, and they told me like, if you don't improve, you're not going to be on the team. And I said, what I need to do? So I went home again, do the things that I do, and I joined the gym to get my upper body stronger and stuff like that. So came back again. I had a breakthrough in one of the games later on, and that was a turning point in my career.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I have a story. I mean, I have an interesting story. Like when I was young, I made the team finally, but I was playing a different position. I was playing point guard. At that time, I wasn't tall, but I felt like point guard is not for me.
Right.
But I couldn't say to the coach, I'm happy to be in the team, so I do whatever they. So yeah,
you
I
do
was the
it.
backup.
That's right.
Yeah, I was maybe the third backup point guard on the team. But I mean, I'm happy. I made the team, but now that I saw like the other guys are talented and doing other stuff, so I started working harder and harder. I went to the coach and I asked him if I can come early an hour, and if he can teach me the proper ways and the moves and stuff like that. And the coach said, you know what? Yeah, why not? And I was the only one that asked for that. And the coach, he was an old coach, very devoted for the kids. And he said, you know what? Come early, 1 hour early, and we'll work on it. So I started coming early. Yeah. And one day we had a game, and it was a tough game. Like, it's a really tough game, and the coach wasn't expecting us to compete. I mean, just the game. He didn't want to play that game, by the way, because he knew that we weren't ready for it.
Wow. Okay.
In that game, 2 of the main starters didn't show up.
Wow.
And the coach threw me in it. Like, you know what? This is it. We were like 7 or 8 players. He said, you know what? You're playing, starting it. So I was like, I had the best game ever at that time.
Wow.
And I scored the half of the team's point.
Wow.
We ended up going to overtime, and I'm still remembering. This is like long time ago. I still like clearly remember everything. So we went overtime with a team that we should have lost by 20, and we're missing 2 starters in it.
Right.
So I scored a lot of points, and I was doing, I mean, I don't remember exactly what was it, but I mean, I know that I did very well. And the coach after the game said, if those 2 players were going to miss again, they're out of the team. So I kind of secured a place.
That's right.
And after that, when they start coming, they were coming from the bench, and I took that role. And I was doing the one-on-one with the coach, which helped me a lot and a lot. At that period of time, I was a little bit growing too. And the next summer, I grew a couple of inches. My vertical was like crazy, dunking and stuff like that. And the coach said, you know what? I want you to play with the senior team too. And so I was practicing an hour early with the coach, do the junior, we call it junior and senior. So the junior club team, I practiced with them. And after that, I practiced with the older guys. So another challenge was like, I start seeing like, I'm becoming better than my age group.
Right.
I'm competing against the older guys, and older guys meaning 20, 25, and I'm only like 15, 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So that again, I mean, I think it fueled my ambition and my goals. I said, you know what, I got this. I can do this. Like, you know, and I fell in love with it, and I took it. And after that, like it was, I mean, in 2 years, I was one of the best in the area, one of the best in the city, and even I got a call at the younger age to play the national team of the country, like the highest honor for basketball. So yeah, at the beginning was tough. I'm jumping from a year by year, but I mean, when I started putting the work and practicing three hours a day. But we weren't doing every day. So it was like 3-4 times a week, and sometimes play games. So everybody starts saying like, this guy is talented. This guy is talented. And I start like dunking over players and stuff like that. It got me like, when I started dunking, it changed my basketball. It was like, I wasn't very good shooter at the beginning.
Yes.
But I have a crazy dunking ability. So at that age, when you're dunking and stuff, you know,
it gives you confidence. Yeah,
exactly. And you get the recognition of others, like, wow, this guy, and everybody's like, can you dunk like this? Can you dunk like that? And I start doing it. And while I'm trying, everybody's asking me to dunk, and that helped my jumping ability even better. Like,
yes,
I'm dunking, I'm trying this. Oh, can you do this? Can you do that? And so that was my window to advance and go higher level. And then I discovered that I need to work on other stuff. So yeah, that was the beginning, I think.
That's amazing, Coach. And the thing is, you know, a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to sports, people are naturally gifted, but it's the players that put in the work. It's the desire. It's the no quit attitude is what gets guys to the next level. Like the fact that you had, you know, a desire to prove people wrong, to say that I can do this. Yes. I'm going to work my tail off and make sure that, you know, I prove that I am good. I can be able to compete with guys my age and be able to compete with guys that are not my age as well. So, yes, you know, that's why I love the sport of basketball. That's why I love sports, period, because it's always something where you can be able to defy the odds. Like somebody can tell you that you'll never make it, but it's up to you. It's up to how much work you put in of where you end up. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing. I love the journey about sports, and, you know, your journey is so interesting. So, you know, now you're starting to dunk, you're athletic, you're one of the best players in your town, your city. When did you decide, well, not even really decide, but what age did you turn pro?
Okay. So since, again, I'm coming from a small city at the beginning,
right?
And, in a poor environment, like, I mean, very honest, like I would like to say it, like I couldn't afford to have a basketball shoe.
Right.
And
right.
always going to my dad, can I have it? And it was, I mean, I'm talking about like maybe 30 years ago. So,
yeah.
So it wasn't that easy. Now every kid has the best,
yes.
basketball shoes. But I mean, even like imagine, I mean, whoever played this game at that period of time, they already know, like the basketball shoe had a great value.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I used to clean my shoes, you know, like
right.
Who does that now, you know?
Right. You don't hear kids cleaning their shoes. No.
Yeah, no. Now it's like, oh, Dad, I need another one. Now,
right.
There is a KD,
right.
LeBron's, I don't know, number 17.
That's so true. It's so true.
So I'm valuing everything that I'm getting, but at the same time, I understood that how somehow, because my dad is always like, wasn't encouraging me at that point, like, you know, do your homework, do
right.
your, you know, basketball. I mean, you can't, I mean, back then the professional basketball wasn't a big thing.
Right. So he you know, he didn't want you, he didn't understand the focus of this. It comes from an old school type of mentality where you gotta, you know, you gotta work, you gotta do school and this. So I definitely understand that. Yeah.
And now I teach differently, of course. I mean, I learned that you can do that. You can do your homework and
Absolutely.
go play basketball. It's like just time managing and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But at the early age, all I'm thinking is like, I love this game. I want to become best, because when you're getting those recognition at that age, that this is like a kingdom for me. Like I'm
Absolutely.
getting, like I was nobody, and wow, this guy plays. This guy, I'm hitting that. My dad like people come to my dad say, your son is gifted. Your son is gifted. So I said, let me. And summer times I used to go work also. That's something also in overseas is normal. Like you can go work at age of 15, 16, 17.
Right.
No, not really hard work, but you can,
But you can earn something. Yeah.
You can make some money from
Right.
it. So I said, let me go and make some money from working, so I can afford my basketball shoes and whatever I need to give and stuff like that. So that's what I did. So I started saving money for it. And I remember one time I went to a job, I hated it, but I just wanted, because the salary was monthly salary. I said, I want to go 1 month, make the money, and buy
and then
my
quit.
Yeah. So when I went to quit, I said to the boss, like, hey, I'm going to quit. I took my check, and the boss said, no, don't do that. I'll raise your salary.
Oh, wow.
Yes, just to stay, you know. I said, thank you very much. I took what I needed to take from it, so the money that I needed at that time, and made my dad proud that, hey, I can, you know what? I don't want to go to my dad and ask for basketball shoes, so I can take care of myself. And this is like, maybe I'm 16 here, like, 16, not even 17, 16, 15, 16. So another thing is that when I did that, so now everything that I am doing has a value.
Yes.
I'm buying my shoes. It's not like when someone is giving it to you, it's different than when you're buying it.
Oh, absolutely. When somebody's giving you something, like you don't really appreciate it as much as when you earn it yourself. You know what I mean? It's really important. Yeah.
I don't want to hear my dad complaining. I don't want to hear a negative thought. So I said, no, I'll take care of it. So, okay. So I got the support from my dad, like, okay, it means like, maybe, I mean, the old way of teaching is like, they put you down to see if you can make it,
Right. They beat you down to see if you can be able to kind of, rise through that and see if you can be able to have tough skin, because, the way it was is like, you have to have tough skin to be able to survive in this world. So
exactly. Yeah. But at that point, I'm not understanding that. I'm understanding like, oh, he doesn't want me. I'm going to prove him wrong too.
Right.
Like I had this thing and still have in me, but was like, I want to, if you say no to me, I'm going to do it.
Oh yeah. I'm the same way.
Yes. Now it's I choose my battles. I choose what I need to, where I need to fight for it. But at that time, like, hey, you can't do that dunk. You can't do this. You cannot make it. No small kid from the small town, a poor environment, ever made it.
Right.
Oh, okay, I'll show you.
That's right.
That was my mentality.
Right.
And I think that now I look back and I see that those are the traits, those are the things that I had that helped me at the age. I was fueling me without me even knowing it. I'm just doing my thing. But now when you start analyzing what happened, because this is like 20 years ago, I started thinking about it, like what made me do that?
Yes.
How can I teach my players, like if they're going through a tough time, what to do, like how to appreciate everything that is given to them if it's given, or go and earn it. And a lot of times in high school, the coaches, they don't have time for you. You have to make time for yourself.
Right.
So it's up to you. It has to come up to you, and
absolutely
work. And when you see the results, you get involved in love in that result, and you start doing it more and more, and that's how I start jumping from level 1, level 2. And at the age of 18, 19, I was semi-pro. Like I was working part-time and doing basketball.
Okay.
I had some contract. I mean, back then it wasn't much, but it was enough. It was like as if you're working a regular job.
Right, like a part-time job or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, for 17 years old, you don't need, food is provided, home shelter, everything is provided. You only need whatever money you're making. I start helping the family later on.
Oh, that's great.
And year after year, you're doing better. Other teams are interested in me, and they're paying me more to go to their team. And that was the beginning of my pro career.
Okay. Now, you know, as you start to embark on your pro career, your journey, did your father kind of come around to it and say, hey, listen, you know, he's really, really good at this. So it's time for me to really like support what he's doing and get fully behind it? Or was he still didn't really understand it, but you know, as your father, he's going to be there and give you some support?
I mean, I think again, he was a very old school guy. I think he knew, he was proud, but again, in my culture also, they won't compliment you because
Right.
they think you're gonna be proud or not to put the work. You're gonna think yourself you're a big shot.
Yeah, spoiled, entitled. Yeah.
All I'm hearing is like, you're kind of nobody still.
Right.
Still, you didn't do much, you know.
Right.
Like I think that's the old school. Like,
Absolutely.
that's a tough love. Like, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Because they don't want you to fail in life. They don't
Right.
want you to leave everything and pursue basketball, and they don't know the outcome of it. They don't
Right.
know you can make a career from it.
They don't want you to struggle like they did, you know.
Exactly. Right. That's their mentality, and again, that's another thing. It's always fueling my passion and fueling my desire to go next level and next level. When I started getting those contracts and I'm still working, I came to a point that I saw other players, the pro players, they're practicing every day, which I
Right.
wasn't doing at that time. I was
Okay.
like talented, I'm doing good, I'm scoring points and doing great, but it's like natural raw talent, nothing coming from hard work. And since everybody's telling me like you're talented,
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning on how I'm talented. I don't need to train too much.
Right. You start to believe the hype a little bit.
Exactly. But when I saw that the others I said, if I'm training 3 times a week, let's say, and my other guys are training 5 times a week, they're gonna get better than me.
Absolutely.
So I said, you know what? I'm gonna leave everything and pursue this thing. I'm gonna do this like full in it. So the club that I used to play with was far away from my city. So during summertime, when I don't have anything, no school, no nothing, I used to live in that city by myself with another teammate. So I'm practicing now every day. And other than the team practice, I'm practicing by my own. I start shooting. I heard that the guys used to shoot like 300-400 shots a day.
Right.
Back then, that was a big number. Now everybody says
now it's like 1,000 plus. Yeah.
Now it's now like when we heard that Steph Curry was shooting 1,000 a day or 1,500 shots a day. You know, when you hear those, your limits stretched. You start thinking, oh, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go 500. If they're doing 400, I'm gonna go 500. So 500 became easy to me. And remember, no one is passing me the ball. I'm shooting it by myself, following the ball.
Following through, getting your own rebounds.
Exactly. Yeah. And put it back. So that said, you know what? If I miss, I'm going to run and dunk.
Okay.
You know? So now I'm double the work. It's
you're double training. Yeah.
Yes. It's not like just take the shot. And I used to do another drill is like, every time I'm taking shots, certain shots, like 100 shots of those, has to come while me running wherever the ball bounces.
Right.
I grab it and shoot it again. If I made it, I grab it, 2 dribble outside, turn, shot, like all the spots, and start doing those things. And I start seeing the result. My shooting got improved, my movement got improved, and stuff like that. And start lifting and doing other stuff. And at this point, I'm like around 18, 19 years old. So, and I'm playing with professionals. Every team has their own professional. At that time, most of the professionals came from Africa.
Okay.
Very tall centers because.
Yes.
And now I'm challenged because those professionals, they don't do nothing other than playing basketball. So I'm hanging out with them, and I'm learning different way of training. I mean, the hard work that they're putting me, that it's inspiring me, and I start putting in the work, and that became my habit, like natural thing. I have to do this. Like that's the only thing I knew. So I need to work harder, and I start challenging those players, playing them one-on-one and stuff. So I start like I'm getting better results and I'm getting improved, and then bigger teams are interested in me, and yeah, like start jumping from not jumping. It's like upgrading myself, upgrading the contract and everything else. So at this point, my dad is seeing that, is very proud and happy, and he got convinced that I have something special in me. So
that's great. That's, you know, he finally realized that, listen, you know, that my kid has something special here. So
yes,
you know,
and he's not coming and watching my games. I mean, he's hearing the feedback of other parents, other people saying you have to see your son.
Right.
And the hard part of that was also my mom passed away early, so my dad had to work. So and we only knew that hard work is the only thing.
Right. It's the only right.
Talent. Yeah. Talent is like we're not even believing in talent. You know what I mean? I mean, you have it, but you're not relying anymore on it. So
no, I agree. I definitely agree with that, Coach B. It's like, you know, in regards to talent, I always say that talent will get you through the door, but hard work will keep you there.
Exactly. 100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's great. You know, that you've come from a great background. Your father taught you well, you know, hard work. This is why you're at the place that you're at. And, you know, it definitely shows. So, you know, the fact that you can be able to play 18 years is a long time, you know, to be able to keep your body right, to eat right, to diet, and, you know, make sure that, you know, the injuries are to a minimum so you can be able to have a long career. You know, did you have any ups and downs in regards to, you know, injuries and things like that, or was it really smooth sailing for you for 18 years?
No, I had major injuries. Like I had 2 knee operations. I had broken. I still I still suffer from those injuries. And I mean, I think. I mean, later on, I discovered that whenever you have the jumping ability, you're very prone to have injuries.
Yes,
if you're not training. Yeah, if you're not training, and sometimes I mean, don't forget that we practice sometimes on the
concrete. Yes. And,
but we don't know that. And I used to put weights on my legs and on my body and jump, which is now not something I don't encourage people to do. It. But that's the only thing I knew back then. Running on the sand, doing those stairs, running on the stairs, jumping the stairs and stuff like that, without the science behind it. Now you have everything. It's like I follow it. I study everything now.
Yeah.
And I know that, okay, there is a better way of doing it. So that's what I'm trying to teach my players.
Absolutely.
You don't have to do the harder route that I took. That's why I try to make the process of the players that I train to be smoother and to come to a faster, but without compromising anything, quality.
Right.
It's like if you can make the process faster and not necessarily easier, but faster and the right way.
Right. More efficient.
Yes. And you eliminate the injuries that I had.
Absolutely. Yeah. I dealt with those as well because, you know, there's something called jumper's knees, right? Yeah. Where, you know, it's that constant, you know, banging on that concrete, and you know, your cartilage and your ligaments start to diminish after a while. And, you know, I think 2018, I was playing in, you know, some weekend leagues and stuff, and completely ripped up my knee. You know, to the point where, you know, the doctor looked at me and said, I've seen 2 injuries this bad in 30 years, and you're one of them.
Wow.
So, you know, he said that you may just walk around with a limp your whole life. And I said, you know, just like your mentality, I'm going to prove you wrong. worked at it, 4 or 5 days a week. And, now I can be able to run around with my son and do stuff. So, it's tough, man. And I love the fact that basketball and training has taken a different approach in regards to the technology and how people train now, how they recover from injuries, because, ACL injuries back in your time playing, that was it. You blow out your knee,
career ending,
blow out your knee, that's it. Yeah. And now guys can be able to come back within 4 to 6 months. So, it's amazing of what has transpired in regards to the technology. But, I'm sure. So how was that like rebounding from those injuries? Like, you had knee surgeries now. How was it getting back to a level where that you have to be in order to continue your career?
Again, so when I had the injury, the ACL injury, I had ACL injury with torn meniscus at the same knee, at the same time. I went to the doctor, one of the best doctor in the country. Yeah. I went to him, but the doctor wasn't involved in sports medicine. He was like, regular doctor, but right. He's the best. He said, do you really want to play this game? I think, or you want to walk all your life, right. Or you're going to be like on a wheelchair. What? Like I said, no, I want to play the game. He said, it will take you a year and a half. Again, I went home. I'm so pissed off, so sad, so mad about it. I said, you know what? Let me ask someone else. So I had back at that time, my brother was in Greece, and Greece was at that time was one of the best medical schools, and basketball was very high level, and still they are, but in my time it was like the best there.
Right.
So my brother had some connections there with a relative cousin, which encouraged me to come to Greece, do the operation. So I talked with the club. I said, listen, this is the situation. And they promised me I can get back in 6 months if I do the proper way of training.
Right.
And again, the medicine was improving, and Greece had a new way of technology doing the ACL.
Yes.
Which was at that time putting an artificial ligament.
Right.
To make the process faster. Now they take it from a different ligament.
Yes, they take it from
Yeah, they
have different, different techniques. They have the cadaver, they can take it from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I said, I'm gonna try it. And this operation was like new, but we found out the Olympiacos Panathinaikos is one of the teams there.
Yes.
High-level doctor, his assistant agreed to do the operation because it was a challenge for the doctor to do this operation. They needed like maybe guinea pig or something.
Right.
So they said, you know what, we'll take care of it. And I did the operation and the therapy there too. The therapy was amazing there because they had I still remember, I think it called Cybex at that time or something, a machine that will help you recover the injury. And they had like high technology lasers and stuff like a pressure, water pressure on their knees, there's stuff like that. I was like, it was everything new for me. So I did my recovery, and I started getting interest from Greek teams, like, hey, would you be interested to play there? And the thing is that I had my fiance at that time, and I was like 24, 25 years old. So, I mean, I'm away from my family. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back home. I can't stay here. I'm not feeling very comfortable, even though it's tickling me like to stay there and play. But at the same time, I said, you know what? I have to go back. So I went back. When I went back, another big team was trying to rebuild their team because they lost the championship. So they waived a couple of players. They were looking for another player. they said to me like, hey, we're interested in you. Now my team, who paid the cost of the surgery and everything, the trip and everything, they took it. I mean, they saw an opportunity because that the team that was interested in me was the best team there, and they were a rich team.
Right.
So they kind of sold me to that team, and I
Yeah.
was really happy, you know.
Yeah, of course. You know, you can be able to compete at a high level. Yeah.
So they asked a lot of money to my transfer, and the club paid it, and they
Great.
paid me a lot of money to go there.
Awesome.
And I'm coming there with the injured. I'm not 100% healed. I'm 85%. But that team had their medical staff, that everything is like, things are turning pro. Everything's
Everything's
with
different.
level
Yeah.
teams, everything is details, and they said, you know what, you can start training. I start training with them, and I recovered from it, and even get back to my jumping ability again.
Wow.
And I used to be like, I used to go and join the slam dunk competitions wherever there was like a competition.
Okay.
You know, the one of the best there. So when in one of the Asian championship, all the Asian clubs were there. So there was a slam dunk competition. So I said, let me join in to prove myself again, so I can do this again. I end up being the third. I came third, but we were tied till the final, and there was one dunk to separate it. But at that time, I wasn't doing a creative dunk. I said, let me make it, because if you miss the dunk,
You don't get any points. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like now you can try 10 dunks.
Right.
You pick the best. So I went like hard dunk and like basic one. Not basic, I mean, jumped hard, but it wasn't creative. So I came third. But again, it was a big thing to me, because after operation, coming and doing the thing. But at that point, after the injury, my thought process was different. Now
Right.
I work on other stuff, not just, I start working on my mid-range shots and
Fundamentals, footwork.
fundamentals and stuff like that. I mean, you're always adding, and I learned that from Michael Jordan. Like every year he used to come with a different mentality. Like, I'm going to be the best defensive player. I'm going to be the champion. I'm going to be the best scoring. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. So you create that challenges. So I started copying that mentality. I said, you know what? I'm going to get the best at mid-range and wide open shots on the three. I'm taking those.
Absolutely.
So I start my percentage going higher and higher, and my rebounding was very good at that time too. So I'm double every game. So
wow.
So, and I'm 6'4", like I'm not that high, and I'm playing position 4, 3-4. So because of my jumping ability, and my jumping ability was like, I can like easily reverse dunk while standing under the basket. Like I can turn 180 when I'm standing.
Wow.
It helped me a lot because I have to jump against the big guys.
Right. The fact that you're 6'4", you have to be very athletic, and your timing has to be there. So yeah, absolutely.
And when you're a dunker, it's a pride to dunk, and it's a pride not to get blocked.
Right.
It's like, no, they're not gonna block my shot. I'm gonna dunk it in a way that I'm gonna put them in the. I mean, those kind of things was back then. It's everything was pride. Like, if you steal my ball, I'm gonna bust my ass and steal it back, or get to block shot, or you know what? I get immediately it turns personal.
Yeah.
This age is like, they pass by you and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, coach, I couldn't, whatever, like blah, 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 whatever. No. You can't pass me. Either if you pass me, you will pass without the ball, or if the ball passes, you're not passing. I'll stop, I'll foul you. I'll fouls, I'm going to use one hard on you. Like, next time when you're coming around, that, hey, there's someone there.
It was a different game back then, coach. It was more like, for me, the way I looked at it is that guys took it a little bit more personal. Like, you know, it was a game within the game. Like, if I'm going against this guy, I got to make sure that this guy is not better than me. He's not getting a one up on me. I have to make sure that I dominate him and also, you know, help my team win. I don't think that is the same type of mentality nowadays, you know?
I used to have a hit list. Like, I put the names of the players that I need to dunk on them, you know? Like, oh, this guy, I didn't dunk on him yet.
Right, I have to dunk on him.
Yeah, this guy is like next. When I know that I have a game, who's their best player?
Right.
We're there like it's either me or you. We're
Absolutely.
not both of us having. I never gave a high five to an opponent.
Right.
I never. It's like now your opponent score on you and giving him high five. Like,
oh yeah, you know, they're talking, they're exchanging jerseys and all of this stuff. Yeah,
I'm not accepting the MVP or the best player on that team. I'm not accepting him. I'm saying,
right.
No, he's not.
Right.
I'm like, in my mind, I'm playing that way. Even though when I retired, we now talk to each other.
Of course.
And we say, you know what, there's stories and stuff like that. And now we recognize each other's talent and say, you were a legend, you were this, you were that. When I was playing, nobody's legend.
No.
I'm not giving respect to anyone.
That's right.
It's not about ego. It's different type of.
No, it's just about there's a mutual respect there, but there's also pride where I am a great basketball player myself, and you know, I'm not going to concede that you're better than me. That's not going to happen.
In my mind, I mean, now I talk about it, it looks like maybe egotistical, but in my mind, it's like we're fighting to who's the king of the jungle.
That's
like,
right.
I'm or you are. We're not sharing that title.
Exactly. We're not equal. There has to be one.
After the game, we talk about it. He will tell me like, hey, I got you a block shot, or I stole your ball.
Right.
You scored only 28. I scored 35.
Right.
And you know what? And we start talking about those this conversation.
Absolutely.
I don't have help from my teammates, but you know what? Okay, we'll see you on the day that we know that they'll have a game.
Right.
Okay, that's a rematch, and I'm waiting for that rematch.
Right. You're circling that on the calendar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm remembering and talking about it, and it's funny that how the game improved, but the mindset didn't improve.
Yes.
The mindset went back. We became softer. Now
I agree.
It's softer. You know?
I agree.
Even the NBA is like time management and what injury this that.
Yeah, load management, and yes, it's really
I
interesting.
look at it as a BS right now. Like, honestly, I train them. I understand. I evolved. I understand, but at the same time, I still pour belief in the players and tell them to take it personal.
Right.
Because when you take it personal, you give 100%. It's not about being personal. No, it's not. It's like, you know what? Now after the game, I said to my player, after the game, you can go and congratulate them. But when you're playing, you have to have that killer instinct in you. Otherwise, you might be a good, decent player. You know, you might have a good career, make a lot of money from it, but it wasn't about the money. It started without, it wasn't about the money. And still now when I train, it's never about the money. It's never about the money.
It's about getting better.
Yeah, that's my challenge. Every time I train someone, it's a challenge. It's a project for me. Like, how can I transform this regular guy to a beast?
Right.
But it all starts with the mindset, the mentality that you have to bring. The approach to the game has to be on a different level.
Right.
That's why, you know, few people make it. I mean, there's no secret about it. Why? Because their mindset, it's not just the talent. I wasn't very skilled as a ball handler or anything crazy, doing crazy moves, 16, 15 dribbles to make a shot. It was like 1, 2, I took my shot, you know, or I'm going to the basket, like whoever is in front of me, I'm taking them with me.
Right.
But if I mean, the only thing the game is missing, that mentality.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Killer
I 100% agree with you, Coach. You know,
and that was the era back then. Like if
Yeah.
you watch the NBA at 80s, even 90s, it was like the Detroit Pistons against MJ.
Right.
Those are lessons to us. Like that was like I'm learning from this. Like they wouldn't shake hands. I remember, like I still remember when Detroit Pistons left the court without congratulating the
Yes.
Chicago Bulls when they first time beat them, and they were
Yes.
beaten by every year.
Right.
But imagine, put yourself in their shoe for a moment and think like that. And if you can take 10% of that mentality, you can be super player.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about, you know, that mentality of I have to have that killer instinct. I have to be this dog, because if I'm not, then, you know, I'm going to leave something there. I want to give everything. I want to give 100%.
I wasn't even thinking if I hadn't that. That's the only thing I need to have, and I'm having it. It's like if I give 50, there wasn't a training I gave less than 100%.
Right.
It's like even when I go to training, it was a challenge. I'm gonna try this dunk. I'm gonna try, you know, I'm gonna score this. I used to create, because sometimes the competition that wasn't that high for myself. So I mean, now I look at it, maybe not the right way, but I believe it was back then.
Right.
So I played the games only using my left hand. I'm going there, you know, I can still shoot with my left hand as a jump shot, like regular.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's not the same percentage, but in a point when I was training and playing, it almost was that, you know? And when, like, they weren't expecting, I'm always adding something nobody's expecting. They knew that I drive more to the right. There's, you know, the scouting reports. Now you're defying a scouting report. You're going to do something else that they're not expecting.
Right.
So in my mind, that kept me always improving, evolving. And every year, even when I retired at 36. I made a comeback at 39. The team needed me. I was the assistant coach. The team was struggling to stay in the Division I, the higher league. So, and we didn't have, and when you're playing relegation between the first division to second division, to make it fair, because in second division, there wasn't any imports. So you're playing only with the locals.
Okay.
So since I had the experience and I could, you know, I made a short comeback and played again and made sure that the team stays in Division I.
Wow.
And again, because of the killer mindset, like it was like life and death every situation.
Right. You refuse to lose.
You refuse to lose, and it's like how shame on me to lose that. Like,
right.
I mean, it's a sick way of thinking right now. If you talk to some young guy, they'll say, man, that's a sick mentality.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that helped me. Like, I think that was the desire that in you to think like that helped me. I'm saying, is it going to help now people thinking like that? Maybe not. I'm not sure.
It depends on the person. It depends on the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
But again, you have to always find a reason. And because I'm a goal-oriented and result-driven.
Right.
Even when I'm training, I don't train just to train. Like, I need results. Like, we have to have to put some goals and hit those goals. And I know how much work there is to be done by the players, and always mentoring them and teaching them to kind of have similar to it, put some goal, target those players.
Right.
2 days ago, I was talking with one of my players that he's a young freshman, but they promised him to play the varsity team.
Okay.
And they ended up saying, no, you're going back to JV. And he was like, he came to me crying and saying, coach, this, that, you know, it's not fair. There is a lot of players in varsity. They're not even half of my talent.
Right.
I said, you know what? Now you go to the JV games
and you destroy it.
Destroy everything. You're gonna kill everything.
That's right.
That chip on your shoulder. It's the best thing happened to you.
Absolutely.
And now, yesterday he had the game. I didn't talk to him yet, but I called him. We didn't have a practice yesterday with him. I wasn't having a training with him, but I called him again. He came, shots. We adjust a few things, and you know what? Just the mindset. You go there. It has to be like that. You don't.
Absolutely.
You can't go and say, "Oh, poor me. They promised me this. They promised." Control the controllables.
That's
you can't
right.
Control that.
That's right. Exactly. That.
What you can control. Can you control when you have the ball? That's the only time you can control it.
Right. That's a great point.
The way that people, your coaches, it's not against the coaches, but that's a fuel. Use that.
Right.
Use that. Like in my time also, there was many times like people to tease me, they say, so-and-so said that you can't guard him. Or so-and-so said, you know what, that maybe it was true, maybe it wasn't.
But you used it.
As like, I'm going to use that. Like,
right.
You know what? Oh, and I'm immediately believing it without even doubting. No,
right.
They are nice guys. They won't say that. No. Okay, I'll see you. Like,
right.
That type of a thing, you have to bring it to the game.
Absolutely. You have to bring that ferocity because, you know, this is a tough sport. And, you know, in order for you to be successful at whatever level you're playing at, you have to have the mindset that you are the best, not saying that you will be the best, but you have to be confident. Basketball, I tell people all the time that, you know, it's like 10% physical and 90% mental. You have to know, you have to believe, you have to envision that you're great, because if you don't, your game will struggle because the confidence is not there. If you miss one shot, you miss two shots, you miss three shots, now you're starting to, you know, sink your head. You're doubting yourself. That will then permeate throughout the rest of that game. You have to believe that you're going to make shots. You're going to continue to play well. You're going to play good defense. You're going to win this game. It has to be a mindset. So absolutely, Coach. I 100% agree.
It's so true, but at the same time, I am having doubt by myself. I am having doubt. It's not like I don't have doubt. I have
confidence. Of course.
No, my confidence is showing on the court. But after the game, I'm saying, oh my goodness, I should do this. I should do that. Maybe every time I lost the game and I played the great games, I blamed myself for losing it. And it wasn't my fault. I could have,
of course.
You know, I scored 40 points, 30 points, whatever points I scored, or I got 20 rebounds. Like, no. I need to do more. I need to do more.
So it was about getting better.
Getting better and helping the team to win.
Right.
I mean, if I need to go score more, I'm going to score. If I need to pass more, I'm going to do that. You know, if I need to cheer for my team, do whatever it takes. Go watch films, study it again by myself, not as a team film watching. That's different thing.
Right.
That's the one is given to you like team practice, team video, team conference, team meeting, team. That's nothing. I'm not counting those as work hours.
Right.
I'm counting the hours that I'm putting by myself.
By yourself, right. With nobody there.
Yes.
Yeah. My
conditioning is not that good, for instance. I'm getting sometimes tired. I can't. And back then, I used to play games like around 40 minutes. Like, because the game was 40 minutes, and I'm not resting. Sometimes the team cannot. And in 40 minutes, you're going to have your laps. You know, you're not.
Absolutely.
The same. And now I'm blaming myself. My conditioning is not that well. So I remember one time I read the article about Dr. J. He used to run on the sand for 40 minutes.
Wow.
48 minutes, I think. 48 minutes. Exactly, 48 minutes. I said that that's the NBA game time, 48.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to start running without even stopping for 40 minutes. That's my game.
Right.
I'm going to go 5 more minutes because I might go overtime. Like this is analyzing my thing. I couldn't do it at the beginning, 40 minutes. I was barely able to do like 20 minutes, 22 minutes. And I said, every week I'm going to add few more minutes until I reach. That's my conditioning goal. I am putting on myself. Nor the coaches asked me to do it, nor anyone said to me, you have to do that.
Right.
But I believe like I'll take something information and how can I use it to my game.
Absolutely.
That was my approach. And I'm telling you, I wasn't gifted in a sense of Kyrie Irving handles or LeBron James force or Curry's 3-point shots. No, I was solid, but I knew what I'm doing. I knew my mindset was right. I'm facing. I mean, I played against Yao Ming. Yao Ming was, he was young back then. He was 19, 20 years old. And as I told you, I was playing sometimes position 4.
Right.
And I scored on him 2 times. And when I was, one time I was in the paint and I saw him coming. When I spinned, I raised my elbow to hit him, and he was, weak and skinny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had a couple of tricks I used to do. It's kind of intentional, but it doesn't show.
Right.
There was a way that I can hide those things, and I hit him like he fell down. I scored, and like I'm not letting him stop him. This is not. It's like this is the mindset. Like we're talking about the mindset because trust me, it's like as you said, I believe in that too. It's 19% mindset.
Absolutely.
It's not about your Instagram or the showcases or whatever game highlights you
highlight package. Right.
Everybody, sometimes you go watch high school standouts and it's a regular game.
Yeah.
You go at night to watch on Instagram the highlights of them, totally different.
It's totally right. I just watched the whole game. This didn't happen like this.
And, you know, then they gave them, like 17, 16 years old, they have tons of followers. And that's
they're superstars at that age,
And it's not easy to be like, I had that thing too. Like when I was famous and like well-known back then, and I'm playing for the national the national team, the country, everybody's watching me. We won the Asian championship, went to world championship, all those things.
Right.
People are like everywhere. You kind of lose yourself. You can't be like, oh my goodness, like this is unreal. Like, oh, I'm a big shot.
Yes.
And you have to always bring yourself to the relax. You're not that.
You gotta have to humble yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. And because if you don't humble yourself, you're gonna compromise in training. You're gonna say, I'm good enough.
You'll start to have shortcuts. Put shortcuts in and stuff like that.
You have to believe in yourself, yes, but in a sense that you're still a regular guy. You're gonna go again tomorrow after the game, work double the work that you need to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's how I think I got improved year by year.
Yeah.
And I bring that to my training right now. The way that I think, still with the adjustments, a lot of adjustments, yes. And this is a different era. I cannot copy paste whatever we were doing. Ask the players to do it.
Right.
But there is a lot of lessons. There is a lot of things that I can take and build on it in a different style to teach them that different way. I studied psychology just for my coaching. Like I just to understand. And I was a player. I played top team. I played in my later years. I played with the lower ranked teams.
Right.
And one of the teams I said, like, I just came back from retirement to play that. So all those things.
It molded your coaching and your training. Definitely. So I guess, Coach, let's get into the training part of your journey. You were training out there, you were coaching in Lebanon, right? And then you came here about 4.5, 5 years ago. Now, how was that adjustment period being in the States and trying to figure out what your next step was? Because obviously, I watched an interview where you said that, when you got here, basketball wasn't on your mind. Like that was what you put your heart and soul into for your life. But when you got here, it's like, okay, I need to figure out something else. I need to maybe drive Uber or do this or do that, or, have an insurance license and do that. Like, you know, how hard was that for you to adjust to a different life? Because you played basketball your entire life. You were good at it. You know, you had such success in Lebanon, and then you come here and it's completely different. Like, you know, just kind of take me through that mental struggle that it was for you, because I'm sure it was.
It was, yeah. When I retired, I jumped. I mean, again, it happened. One of my coaches asked me to be assistant coach for women's, one of the best women's team. And the funny thing is that it happened that we started training and we had a tournament with the girls team. And I said, okay, I can go there. And I went there and I learned a lot of stuff from coaching and started coaching career. So my coaching career after playing was around 14 years.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, 13, 14 years. So now I'm coaching, assistant coach, head coach, whatever, national team coach, women's national team coach, whatever. So the hardest part is not that the transition from player to basketball was very comforting, because I needed to stay in basketball. I felt like I can't do anything else.
Right.
Not that I couldn't, I didn't want to. And I was kind of well known, so my name is like, if they're hiring me, we know.
Oh, definitely. You're at the top of the list.
Yeah. So when I'm coming again, there was a politic there too. Like they don't want you.
Of course.
And there's all those things. But when I came here, I put in my mind, people around me here, my friends, relatives, family, that I have a lot of people from Lebanon that they knew me, Armenians, they knew me there from there. They told me like, here nobody knows you.
Right.
I used to come here for the NBA Summer League, the club team. They used to send me to pick a player or scout a player. The leftovers that they didn't make the NBA, if we can have one of those guys to come to play in our league and stuff like that. So, and I have my family here, so I'm coming to visit them. And every time I'm interested, the conversation of basketball is always there. Like I'm thinking, I said, if I come here, can I coach? I want to coach at the college level, you know? They said, no, man, here is different. I start learning that, you know? I said, I can be assistant coach. I don't mind being assistant coach. Second assistant coach. I just love to be on the, they said, no, here the assistant coach only recruits. So, oh my goodness, what about teaching and scouting? And I'm back home, I'm doing everything. The assistant coach does everything. I have to scout the team, prepare the team, conditioning. I'm doing everything. Scouting the team and preparing the team against, I'm learning all the sets of other team opponents. So I'm teaching them to my players in the morning session. So when we face them on each screen, how we're going to defend it, blah, 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 their player personnel, this, that. So I came here like, no, you can't do that. Nobody knows you here. Nobody knows you. I said, first year, I was like, my family came here. My wife, my wife is another legend in basketball too.
Okay.
From Soviet Union.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So she played at the age of 45 and she was scoring 40 points. She's
wow.
Three-point shooter, great move, great, like 99% free throw shooter, like crazy stats.
So she was better than you, coach.
She was. Talent-wise, she was. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
But she was softer and gentle, and like, you know, she doesn't want to harm anyone.
Right.
Unlike me.
Different mentality.
Different mentality, and she's extremely talented. Like she scored 40 points, 20 rebounds, and get out of the game like as if she did nothing. You know?
Wow.
As if she's supposed to do that, you know.
Wow.
I'm 6'3", of course I'm gonna do that. I'm this. She got a lot of college back then when she was playing Kentucky. Many. I just remember many. She went to World Championship. She played in US and in Milwaukee, and
wow.
She was the best player there, the star of the. She was big time, but she was like easily satisfied. Like I'm okay. And now, when we came here, it was like, okay, what are we gonna do now?
Right.
Like, one of the people that I knew from the Armenian Federation, I have an Armenian background. So Armenian Federation, they were looking to hire me as a coach.
Okay.
So they knew that I'm in the United States, but they don't know where I am. So they asked someone that is involved in basketball here to find me. They found me through Facebook.
Wow.
Sent me a message, said, hey, will you be interested in coaching the U20 of Armenian national team?
Okay.
I said, okay. So I took that challenge. At that time, I wasn't doing much. And that time, again, I got hired by a big network from the Middle East, BeIN Sports, for covering the NBA 2016 NBA.
Right, NBA Finals, yes.
So I'm doing that. I'm still involved kind of in basketball, but back of my mind, like, life is very expensive here.
Right, absolutely.
Like my country is like, in my country, I was living a good life. I have a big house there. The Mediterranean Sea in front of me.
Wow.
I have everything. Like,
yes.
I'm happy, easy life. Even if I don't coach, but
you're very comfortable. Yes.
Yeah, we took a challenge. In my back of my mind, I'm asking everyone around, like, hey, how can I apply? They said, you know what? Okay, you're a FIBA licensed coach, but here they don't care about that.
Wow.
That's what I'm hearing. I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, that's what they're just telling you.
I mean, I don't know. So I said, okay. So when I coached the national team of Armenia and came back, the guy that was the sponsor, or he was the one that taking care of my expenses, and he was doing it as a favor for the Armenians.
Right.
He said, what's your plan? What's your goal? I said, my ideal world will be having a gym and training players. And, he said, I'm building one. It takes like 2 years. Can you wait for it? Would you run that? I said, yeah, definitely. So until the gym was getting built, I started doing other stuff.
Right.
And I took a challenge, like, yes, I want to train, but how, where? And I don't have the answers for that. And I don't have connection. I don't know anyone here.
Right.
So one thing to another led to another. So I started doing other stuff. I drove Uber, doing insurances, I learned things, I said, maybe this is my new life. Maybe this is after basketball,
Right.
Until the opportunity comes. Like, I don't know, I cannot wait, and, I have to provide for the family. So my wife, I managed to put her in a high school here. I wasn't looking for a high school job because of the pay.
Right.
Because of the pay, because I have a family, I need to take care. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm getting offers to go overseas again to coach, but now my wife didn't want to come here at the beginning, and I don't want to leave her alone with the kids, even though the kids were old. But
yes,
but at the same time, it's a new country. Everything is like, I have to do everything. I mean, basic stuff.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I'm a father too. I'm a husband too. So I my duty there too. It's not like just basketball. So that got me away from it. But again, I'm doing things. I'm convincing myself that I'm enjoying it or loving it, but I'm not. So when the gym opened up, the guy asked me to be the athletic director and manage it.
Awesome.
And I had the plans, since I used to do that in the summertime. Camps and putting program for different ages, different groups and stuff like that. So I did that. And I mean, when the gym opened up, I saw a couple of trainers training players there. I'm watching everything. I'm on the court. I'm running the show there. And me and my wife were looking at this trainer, without any disrespect, but I mean, what is he doing?
What is he doing? Yeah.
He's on his phone. He's always like, like, hey, do those things. Like, nothing organized, nothing. And we looked at to each other, said, we came to the United States as if we're thinking everybody knows better than us. NBA level.
You're coming to learn. Yeah.
Yeah. I always learn that. That's not any. I mean.
Yeah. Right.
I always fill my tank with knowledge. Like, I always want to fill it so I can put it to the kids or other people.
Definitely.
So I'm seeing like this cannot be real. I saw high school trainings. I started going and watching my son in high school. I'm going watching the games there and here and there. And we said, you know what? Let me do on the side. I mean, I'm working now. I have a job. I'm in the basketball, but I'm sitting on the office, which I'm hating it. I mean, I'm not acting as I'm hating it. Whatever role I take it, I go 100%.
Yeah, 100%, right.
Insurance, I did it 100%. When I was doing the Uber, I was doing it like whatever I'm doing it for the family. I always put the right mindset, like, hey, now you're doing this, don't think about something else. Focus on it. So I learned a lot of stuff like that. It helped me. I start reading books, more and books. I have more time in my hand. I'm always analyzing, watching games in Europe, following European games are different time hours. So I'm watching sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 9 a.m. in the morning, analyzing, seeing the games, and still keeping myself involved in basketball. So,
absolutely.
So what happened when I saw that, I put it on a Twitter, like, if anyone wants to train or something like that. And some guy, I mean, I started doing some Instagram. People said, like, you know what, people don't know you, so post some videos. Maybe they will like you or something. They will see what you're doing, so at least they know what you can do. So one thing to another, I trained a kid. He was having a hard time. He was kind of in a bad influence by others. He wasn't focused.
Right.
Typical American high school, which for us is kind of different. Like,
yes.
We don't have those luxuries, and you can talk back to your parent and do what you want to do, hang out with everybody. No, you're not hanging out with anyone. My parents not approving for them.
Right.
But it's a different story. So I trained him, and he made the high school team, and he was a short guy, but he made the high school. Dad was complimenting me. I mean, I was so happy. I have the gym, I'm using it. So one thing to another, people start coming and seeing when I'm training and watching, oh, he's not just the athletic director. He can do this, he can do that, he can train. Oh, so one led to two led to five, and the rest is history. So
wow, amazing.
Yeah.
And that's when, that's when the Coach V Elite training ends up, becoming a thing. Yeah. And now, you have over 100,000 followers on Instagram. And now, Coach, in regards to training kids, what is the hardest thing that you have to deal with in regards to possibly getting through to a particular individual? Is it a trust thing where you have to gain their trust? Or is it more like, hey, listen, you're coming to me, I have a skill set. I can be able to get you to a level of where you need to be. Like, how is it different for every kid where you have to kind of like figure out how to get through to them?
It is okay. Another thing that I saw here, even so-called NBA trainers, they knew a couple of things and they keep doing the same thing. They have this type of trainers. And you have the other type of trainers, they only want to teach the moves and, just to be on the Instagram explaining these moves, which is not bad. Everybody do their own thing.
Right.
For me, because I was a coach and a player, I look at it as a coach's perspective and a player's perspective. Like what they need to do that help them in their game. So for me, it's very important when you're coming to train with me. Is it in your off season, during the season? Because you don't know when they decide to come to me.
Right.
So if it's in season, I'm working differently. If it's I have more time and I can take it slower, certain things when I have the summer break. I focus more on maybe conditioning too, but whatever their game is, and I'm tailoring the training towards their game. Yes, there is a lot of similar things, you'll do it, ball handling and shooting. Those are, yes, the same, but each level is different.
Yes.
The same crossover an NBA player does or high school, it's totally different. You have to know the timing of it, or whatever move you're gonna use it. So first thing is for me, I have to assess them. They come at the beginning, they used to come to me and say, hey, my son plays this, my son is one of the best in this, my son, or the opposite, my son is liking this, my son is liking that. From day one, I sit with the parent and I sit with the kid. I sit with the parent and only ask the kid. I don't ask the parent only, I ask the parent, what's the plan, how much they have to pay.
Right.
Other than that, conversation is, how bad do you want this? Why you want to train?
Right.
Tell me why you want to train, or then why you want to train with me. You know what? Like, I go details to see that they're coming here not because of their parents. They're coming here
because they want to.
They really want to.
Right.
And I explain them from the day one, like, it's going to be hard training. It's going to be mentoring, coaching. You know, the relationship comes. That's why when they're coming to me, I mean, most of them, 99% are staying with me. The one that leave, they leave for a short period of time and come back again. Again, the result dictates that. But first, I have to do the assessment and put together a plan for their game. Now, we're living in a social media era, like whatever move they see Kyrie Irving doing,
they want to do
that.
Right.
I mean, how many Kyrie or similar to Kyrie Irving, that can do that ball handling?
Listen, he is one in a generation. So yeah.
It's 1 in 7 billion, 7.2 billion. How many people there is?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do your best version of your game. We have to improve your game, not copy paste someone's move. Even though that's the easiest part. You can not going to say fool, but anyone can go on the YouTube and pick some drill and come and show it to me. You analyze it, watch what they're doing.
But do you understand what you're doing?
Exactly. Does your coach approve that move?
Right.
But in high school, if you do Kyrie Irving's move and score or non-score, if you don't score, the coach is subbing you because they say, who told you to do that? Like,
exactly.
And it has to be natural. If you're a kindergarten, you have to do kindergarten stuff. If you're middle school stuff. In life, also the same. Even
absolutely
schooling, they don't give you subject of a college professor or someone. If you're a high school kid, every level has its. How can you be the best high school student or high school player? That's your goal. That's how you should think about it. Every level. I mean,
be the best at your level. Yes,
exactly. And that's why when I put the plan together, I start building a relationship. A trust factor comes easy because I don't BS, and whatever we're doing, I explain them why we're doing it too. It's not like, let's do this. Why?
Right.
I'll explain to you, we're doing this for that. I tried a couple of moves on my players. That's a general, if I have time. And whichever he feels like, this move is like, works with me.
Right.
I'm feeling comfortable in that. I'm feeling confident in that. So we start working on that move more often. So he has it in his bag. That's one.
Right.
But mindset come with it. Once we have that trust, and the connection, it's always with connecting to it. They're always calling me, texting me, DMing me, like, coach, I had a game. I say, you know what? Explain what happened.
Right.
The perspective. Sometimes if I have the time and I can call and see the coach and I ask them coaches, like, what you guys, or I tell them, like, go ask the coach what you need to work on, like what the coach sees you.
Right.
Because sometimes you have your game, but you never showed it to the coach, and the high school coach, or let's say high school coach, he's only limiting, he's seeing one of the 12 players that he has. You're one of the 12. You're not the main. He can't look at you as separately. I, as a trainer, will look at you separately,
right,
and work on that. But we want to bring whatever we're teaching to the game level. So whatever move we're doing, whatever thing we're doing, it has to help. It's 100% must help him to his game.
Right.
So this way, they're seeing the result, and their confidence is growing up. The confidence also comes from preparation. If you're not prepared, you're not going to do well, even if you think you're going to do it. So eventually it's going to end up whatever we're doing to his game. So every player, I look at it differently, adjustments and this, whatever we need to do. I mean, there is a lot of things, yes, you can do with every player, but the level of executing changes, the timing of it changes, and you don't want to jump bigger strides, bigger steps, taking bigger steps, has to be similar to his game and improve that. Right. And whatever role he has, I have like G League players or the foreign players that play overseas. I mean, the team needs him to score, let's say.
Right.
Not going to come and teach him like the passing more or the rebound more, even though we do those drills. But the main target is how can we help him to
be more effective scoring the basketball.
Exactly.
Right.
Because that's his level. His goal is different.
Absolutely.
But the younger ones, they need to know all those things. And then, you know, I bring their game down to the ground zero. Yes. And build it up again.
100%.
And start eliminating the bad habits, the flows, I start cleaning the moves and cleaning the move. That's why you can see in my videos, I mean, not all the time they're doing the best. I mean, it shows there's mistakes here and there. Sometimes there's a walk here and there. I'm not bragging. It's easy to bring a talented player and tell him to do this move and that move. I'm going to look good. I don't want to look good. If you see my videos, I rarely show myself in the video.
That's right.
Even though they ask me to show it, I explain them.
Right.
Fix it and train. And then I want them to shine. I don't want to shine. I don't want to care if I shine. I had my time.
It's not about you.
Players to go to the next level. It's not about me. It's about them. And
right.
If you're doing this for other than this reason, you're cheating yourself and you're cheating your player. If you're doing it for money, you're cheating yourself. Do something else.
Absolutely. You know? Now, Coach, do you believe, because I have a mindset or thinking is that I watch AAU basketball. I watch these kids going through the AAU circuit, and, you know, they're being taught different skills now. It's about ball handling. It's about shooting the outside shot, and all of that is great. But to me, in my opinion, and I would love to know if you agree or disagree, that the fundamentals with a lot of these kids in regards to training is not there. Footwork is not there. You know, the basketball IQ is not there. The physical attributes are there. They can jump out the gym. They have a long wingspan. They're athletic. They're fast. But the fundamentals, a lot of these kids lack. And when they go from level to level, you see them, you know, if they possibly get to the NBA or even if they play overseas, you see that there's lapses in their games that should have been addressed at 14, at 15. And, you know, they're in their 20s now and they still haven't developed those fundamentals. How do you agree that there is a problem with how kids are being developed, you know, going forward in regards to basketball right now?
That's a great question. That's a common problem.
Yeah.
That's a common problem. I mean, when they come to me, when I'm doing the assessment of the player, I see them like maybe they're shooting 6 out of 10 at their level,
right?
Not in NBA level or different. Every player, I do the assessment on their level, where they should be.
Absolutely, yes.
So I see their ball handling, let's say 7. Their shooting is 4. The free throw is 3. The passing ability 2 out of 10. You know,
yes.
It's not growing the same way that it's supposed to.
Right. It's stagnant.
Yes. The biggest problem I've seen here, and because I'm coming from a different country and I've traveled the world, I've played many games in different countries from all Asia to Europe and everywhere.
Absolutely.
High school coaches, again, I'm not trying to shoot darts on them or anything. They're doing it sometimes I'm not going to say all of them.
Right.
But I think most of them, they're in it for the wrong reason.
Right.
High school coaches, they don't get paid. And that's weird for me because high school coaching is a full-time job.
Absolutely.
Coaching is more important than college because
Yes.
now you're developing the player. Now, because there is a problem in that, the AAU is trying to supplement that
Yes.
lack of, and the parents are like, you know what, is not getting enough training and is not getting enough attention because, and those high school coaches, again, I mean, I don't want to come in a wrong way or trying to, say bad things about them or anything. It's like they don't have the passion and they're only thinking about winning the game.
Right.
It's not about, I mean, it is the winning the game. Okay, generally sense of talking about it. Yes, you won a game.
But
It's a game.
it's about developing these young
At least
athletes.
the
So
priority is developing the game.
right.
If you can win the game while you're developing it, amazing, great
Right.
for you. But if you're not teaching, if you're the high school coach not teaching, who's going to be teaching?
Right.
How?
Right.
I mean, maybe that's a good thing for me. They'd come to me because,
Right. They go exactly.
but I don't want to be that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I want them to get even better. Let's work on the details instead of working on the major
Right.
flaws or major problems,
Right.
and understand. Okay, I'm going to tell you an example. My son plays in high school. My youngest plays in high school. I watched few games. I went to watch few games. He's 6'7", 6'7",
Wow.
6'8". He just turned 16.
Wow. So he has more to grow.
Yes, my wife is 6'3". I'm 6'4". I mean, there is a potential. He already passed us. So
Yeah, he may end up being 6'10", maybe 7. Who knows?
yeah, you know. Yeah. I mean, his wingspan is 7 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's skinny. His legs are weak. And we get that,
Yeah.
And so a couple of games my wife went to watch, and I take her assessment or whatever. We talk basketball all the time, and that's
Yes.
my son too. And I'm never pushing my son. I rarely train my son because it's really different. That's a different topic.
It's a different dynamic. Yeah. Yeah.
So what happens is, one game he starts, the next game he plays 20 minutes, the third game he plays minute 38 seconds.
Wow.
The game after that, he plays the fourth quarter only. Sometimes you're confusing the son. I mean, not because it's my son, but those kids are getting confused. I never went to the coach. I never said what you're doing. If he asked me something, I say, you know what, go talk to your coach and see what's happening.
See what you can be able to fix, find out from the coach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Find out. And he's on an AAU basketball team too, which one of the AAU, I tried few, and this people that they train, I trust them. Plus, we're getting what we can get from that. Like,
Yes.
AAU basketball has its own value.
Yes.
Take that only from it.
Yes.
I mean, don't send them there to become the next LeBron James.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Use it as games, the extra games. Let him make mistakes. Let him learn from it. If he's not learning from it, and if he has a trainer or coaches around him, ask more questions, learn. Eventually, the player has to come to a point that he can make his own decisions.
That's right. Yes.
At the early stage, your parent is making the decision. The coaches are making the decision until you start knowing, like, you know what? And I tell my players many times, like, when you're playing with your high school coach, you have to listen to him.
Right.
Whatever he's teaching you. Don't say, anything bad. If you're not playing, the coach sucks. No. Even though sometimes I know that coach sucks, but that's not the point.
Right.
The point is, like, you're playing in that team, you're going to follow his rules.
That's right.
But sometimes those coaches are taking it extreme. They're going to teach the kid from the early age, like, I'm not going to play him, so I'm going to see if he's going to try his best next time training.
Right.
I mean, they're not built like that.
No, and like you say, going back to what we were talking about earlier, is that as a coach, you're responsible of how to get through to your players, and everybody is going to be different. It can't be like a blanket uniform thing. every player needs different types of motivation. So, you know, it's your responsibility to take on that challenge. And you're right. A lot of these coaches, they don't.
But
And,
they have
and these,
to understand. They
Right.
have to understand. For instance, my son is when you have a tall kid,
right.
growing up tall, he's still growing. His body is still adapting. He wears shoes 17,
Wow.
skinny, like I mean, those all. If you see all the NBA centers or the tall players, they all went through this phase. If you never had that experience, you won't understand.
Right.
Those are late bloomers. Their skill comes later.
Yes.
That's why I'm not pushing my son too much. Let him grow and grow, get stronger and stronger. And then, I mean, we're working on the skills, but sometimes that's not the number one priority right now. Sometimes the right priority is, sometimes they don't select a player to a team just because he's not developed yet.
Right.
The best coaches see you, when you look at a seed, you know the fruits of it.
Right. So you take it on. Yeah. Yeah. And you help build it.
If you're going to recruit a player, or you have to have the sense of valuing or knowing the talent, you have to see the seed, and you say, you know, from this seed I can take an apple tree.
Yes.
From this seed I can take, but they don't have the time for it. Like I get a lot of complaints from the players that I train. Even yesterday, I was talking with one of the moms of a girl that I train. She's very talented. She's doing great but the coaches favor someone on the team other than her. And the coach is always, hey, you guys have to pass the ball to that. You have to do this. You have to do that. You're not playing in NBA to give it that role like superstar.
Exactly.
Role.
Right.
Develop the rest of them. Understand their feeling. Understand. When I coached the women's basketball, it was totally different environment. Their problems, their way of thinking, it's totally different. You have to come on the same tuning or the same wave and communicate with them. When I'm talking with the younger ones, I'm coming down to their level and I'm trying to explain how I can bring this down to their level.
Right.
So we have to be on the same level to understand each other. I cannot come and tell you, hey, I used to do this, I used to do that. It doesn't work like that. But I take the general sense of it. I used to work a lot of hours. I can say that, you know, certain things I did was wrong, but that was, I learned on myself.
Right.
The way that I'm teaching, I'm avoiding a lot of stuff. And when I was coaching also and as an assistant coach, I learned a lot of stuff not to do.
Right.
Not to do, not just what to do, what not to do.
Absolutely.
And I was assistant a lot of years. I stayed assistant, even though I was getting head coaching job, but I didn't want to. I said, let me be like a sponge and learn more and more and more and more. I had a great connection with the players because I was a player. I had the respect and they knew me. So they come and tell me a lot of stuff, and you start learning that those kids are not dumb.
Right.
They don't say nothing to you. They don't answer back to you, but they have their opinion. I have to clear their mind. You don't want confusion in that level. When they're young, one game you're playing the starter, one game you're playing 2 minutes, one game, and you're not addressing why this is happening, it's going to create confusion. When I was playing with the best team in Lebanon, I was meant to play starting five, but the coach decided to put me in a championship as a backup, you know, the sixth man.
Right.
I wasn't happy at the beginning and I was confused. I confronted the coach because it was so obvious, like I deserve better than, it's not like I'm saying to myself, and everybody's saying that. The coach told me, listen, I'm going to start with the five, but if things go wrong, I need someone coming from the bench that can change the situation.
Right, that I can rely on. Yeah.
I took that to my heart, and that's the year that we played the Asian Championship. I was the best sixth man in the Asian.
Right, you won the best sixth man award. Yes, yes.
So I mastered that, even though it wasn't my thing. I was like, no, I had to play. My mind was different. So that creates sometimes confusion.
Right.
It's good to tell your the player, that's what I'm. If they see that you're doing for their benefits, that's what they see in me. They see that I'm there for them. I'm helping them. But I'm the trainer. I'm not their coach. The coach look at them. When I was coach, I look at them as a 12 players. 12 of my kids. I can't separate them one by one. But each one has their own role, yes. But I try to grow each one. You know, sometimes I challenge a player. I'm telling him, you know what? I'm challenging you to do these things. When I had a strategy when I was coaching, I always complimented the things that I need them to do.
Right.
Like, what a great rebound if someone did. We needed the rebound. I wouldn't say, hey, guys, we need a rebound. They already know that we need the rebound. I came up with the question, are we going to rebound today or not? That's one. Second, or how can I, when someone dives on the ball, yes, and I like, shout, and the whole team now jumping on the ball because they need to take.
That's right. That's, you know, they want that praise.
Yes, I'm praising what I need them to do. So the same is, if you want your player to do certain things and they're not, find a way to communicate. And I see that a lot of times they're just yelling, and the kid is not getting it. The kid is not getting, it's your fault. It's your fault.
Absolutely.
Coming to his level, and I mean, you pick the players for whatever reason you did, and you saw something in them, right? Like they're in your team. Now, if you're thinking about it, I'm the JV coach, I should be varsity coach. That's a wrong mindset you have.
Right, because you're doing these kids a disservice. You're not giving them the 100% effort that they deserve.
Or if you're the assistant, you're just looking for how can I get the head coaching job.
Right.
If you, that's the wrong way of wrong way to approach the game. Plus, those kids, they really rely. Some of them are so innocent; they don't know a lot of things. They don't know.
Right.
Like sometimes at the beginning, when I was training at the early ages, like because I was still thinking as a player, I was like, they have to know this. Like this is basics.
Right.
I coached the U20 Armenian national team. We had a lot of U.S. college players. Division 2, Division 3, and we have a Division 1 player too. Stephen Enoch, he plays in Louisville. He used to play with Louisville. He's playing in Spain right now. So, I mean, I'm teaching them stuff, and I was surprised that they didn't know how to change it to zone during the game. They were like, it takes a lot of time. I asked a few of the players. They said we never played a single game zone.
Wow.
Or we didn't play this type of help or that type of help. And I took it a challenge to myself. I said, you know what, don't worry about it. That's my thing. But we didn't have time to prepare. That's why there's a lot of preparation has to be done.
Absolutely.
Until you put them, your goal should be, how can I put them in a way that they can succeed?
Right.
They can succeed, not your team record will be better. You're not playing professional. When you play professional, that's a difference. When I was training, coaching professional teams, if I'm losing a couple of games, they're going to fire me. I'm always working. But when you're a high school coach, even college coach, you're sitting there for 20 years, sometimes 30 years.
You get time. You get certain time to figure it out and put your system in, develop these guys. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. But I mean, your main concern is how to develop those kids. If you see, like, it has to, I mean, if you see that they're lacking some aspect of the game, they're not getting it, reach out to the trainer. Or sometimes what they do is, some of them, those high school coaches, like, they're involved in AAU basketball too. So they pick the player that he's playing with his AAU team.
Yes.
I mean, there is a lot of politics too. Kids come and complain. I never accept it, kind of. I mean, I don't want to say that to them, that this
right. You don't want to make it as an excuse for them to
But I say, you know what? Change the situation. Find a solution. Find the solution. Think about the solution. You're now thinking about only the problem. If you think on the problem only, you're going to magnify the problem.
Yeah.
Find the solution and think about that solution. You magnify the solution. And sometimes life is not fair. You're not going to get every time you share, oh, you deserve to play. No, I came up when I was playing to a point where I don't care what I think about myself. Is everything thinking similar to what I'm thinking? Am I you know what? Like, that's how it doesn't, it's not only you think that you can play or you have to be the starter.
Right.
You have to prove that you deserve to be the starter.
Absolutely.
Your body language has to be game. Like, you know, most of those kids now, They roll their eyes if the coach says it. I mean,
it's a huge problem. It's a huge.
And it's not just the coach's problem. It's the parenting problem.
Yeah.
The parents, they think that their kid is the next.
Yes.
I mean, give them a break. Like, let them enjoy this process, you know. Or sometimes, because parents have to do a lot of sacrifice to take them to the games, to take them to. I mean, they have to pay the trainer. They have to pay for those tournaments.
They invest a lot, so they're expecting this great player to emerge, and it's not like that all the time. It's a process.
And it's not about only to be, I mean, if you don't make it to the NBA, or they come and sometimes they say, okay, what are the chances for him to make the NBA? That's not the point.
No, it's not. Right.
If you send your kid to a school, I always give this example. If you send your kid to school and you say, you know what, my son is not leaning on becoming a doctor, he's a preschool kid. You're saying maybe he's not become a lawyer or whatever, so I'm not going to send him to school. No, you send him to school to be the best at his age. And so when he comes to the level that, when he comes to that bridge, he will cross it. But players grow and learn a lot from discipline, from camaraderie, like they build that friendship. And sometimes, I have friends from all over the world. We still talk with each other. We still talk about basketball. Okay, time is not helping us much. I know everybody's busy, but still, I've traveled the world through basketball. I met a lot of people, good, bad, ugly, whatever. It's like I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot of lessons, and it's about, at the end of the day, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. And it's always chasing. You're always going to be chasing the better version of yourself. You update your phone every other time. You have to update yourself. Your knowledge, you have to update it. Your game has to be updated.
That's a great point.
Whatever you were doing at the high school won't work in college. Some works, some does, but you have to do it better, double. Now, this year, I took it a challenge, and I'm preaching my players the motto of double the work, double the results. This year, we have to recover from 2020. Some of you didn't practice. I have guys didn't touch the ball for a couple of months. And this was a situation, we couldn't control it, yes, but what I can control is I can do some homework at home. I give assignments for my players. You know what? Whenever you're going home, when you finish your homework, I want you to do this and that. Find a park, go park. When there is no way, I still had situation undercover. Drove an hour 30 minutes to train a couple of players. It was a sacrifice.
You gotta preach no excuses.
No excuses. I mean, what can you do? Like, what can you change? How can you change? I know it was a tough year for everybody. Everybody struggled.
Absolutely.
And still some are struggling. I mean, the good part is like you're still alive. From it. So, but again, I mean, pivoting, you have to know how to pivot. Like we teach in the game, you have to, in your life also, sometimes you pivot to one direction to another. And it happened with me. I mean, when they furloughed me from AD at the during the pandemic, I found out the way to train players. And when they asked me to come back, I was like, you know what? I'm not taking it because I want to do what I love. And I pivoted from, something bad happened. I turned it to positive. And
exactly.
You can do that in the games, in the trainings, in your life. You're going to have big success in life. And it's necessarily making it NBA. Making it NBA, I know I had that goal. I had that dream. Everybody has it. It's good to have that dream. But you know what? I'm happy where I am right now. And I'm happy what I did. And I want my kids, also the players, to enjoy the process and have fun while you're having the program. At the end of the day, this is a game, and game has to be fun. They have to be enjoying the game. Enjoyment comes from winning, from sacrificing, from hard work. All those things combined, that's ups and downs. That's how it's supposed to be.
Absolutely, Coach. I couldn't have said it better myself, because we love this game, we love sports, but how I look at it in regards to how kids should look at it is that you go into sports for the experience. You go to get better. You also go there to get structure, discipline, learn how to be successful and attain goals, whether they're little goals or big goals. It will take you through life, because life is all about meeting an obstacle, getting over that hurdle, getting through adversity. And sports is like it's a microcosm of life. That's how I've always looked at it. Like, when I was growing up playing basketball, that's how my coaches made me look at things, is that what you're experiencing here in this little bubble is a microcosm of life. There's going to be ups and downs, but you have to understand and you have to learn how to adapt and get over it. You have to, there's no excuses. You got to get better. You got to make sure that you don't feel sorry for yourself, that you continue to ask questions and learn and continue to, advance your education in whatever you're doing. So, sports is a great thing for kids. I would want every parent to put their kids in sports, no matter what type of sport it is, because it just builds character. It really does. And
that's the beauty of the game.
Yes,
that's the beauty of the game. The challenges, the obstacles that you're facing and challenging. Plus, it's not an individual sport.
Right.
So there is a lot
sport.
of there is a lot of variables. Like,
yes,
there's a lot of things you cannot control. You cannot control your teammates.
Right.
You can influence them.
Right.
You cannot control your coach or the time that you're playing on the court. But I can influence it to make more time by me showing up early, by doing double the work.
Absolutely.
I took it whenever it was unfair with me. I always took it and I blamed myself.
Right.
I said, you know what? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not putting it. You know what? Let me show to the coaches that I really want this thing.
Right.
And even though sometimes you think that you deserve it, it's not going to be given to you. When
exactly.
It's not given to you and you're hunting for it, I think that's how we need to approach to the game. You have to come with that mentality that I'm going to hunt for what is mine. The lion one goes to the jungle. He says, you know what? That deer is mine.
That's right.
Attack it.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
It's not like, oh, I'm the king of the jungle, so the deers have to come to me and be prepared meal. No, I'm going to fight that. Even though it's mine, I'm going to take it.
That's a great point.
By whatever it is. And the lion also puts the work to get that. He runs after that deer. Sometimes he misses, sometimes he get it. But most of the time, because he's the lion, I mean, that's another way to approach it. Like, whatever lesson you can get, whatever quote there is, and there is millions of quotes, whatever you can get it to your advantage, take it, use it, believe in it, and change. And you can evolve. After 2 years later, you look back, you say, you know what? Oh, I learned from that, but I'm now in a different place now.
Absolutely.
That's how you elevate your game. When you say go to the next level, your next level will come with the hardship, with failures. A lot of time, failure is a part of it.
Definitely.
Failure is a part of it. We avoid failures. Oh, my son is the best. If your son is the best in the school, change the school. Go somewhere else. Like, maybe a small school. There is a million of high school and different levels too. It's like,
continue to challenge and push yourself.
Yes. Exactly. Put him in an environment that he's going to fail, so he's going to learn. And be there to help adjust. Or if you're not that right person, seek the right person that can help your son.
Absolutely.
Don't be the dad that you need to be, or a mom you need to be, and let the trainer be the trainer, let the coach be the coach, and let the player be the player, and let him learn through the process. Sometimes when we were young, barely could make walking, we fell 10,000 times.
Right.
Stand up again. Eventually, we're gonna walk. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time for some. Sometimes you can do it faster, and you cannot measure every player to the progress they can have. Some people progress. I have a lot of players after college. They became the best player.
Right. Late bloomers. Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of after college players. Like they come because they say, like, coach, we never had a coach to teach us to learn to we're learning a lot of stuff. Like, they come, I mean, they're working, they might play some rec games here and there, but for their goal is like to learn. That's I think anything, like even on dieting or working out, it's the consistency, but
Right.
it mostly if you transfer it to be a lifestyle.
No lifestyle. Yes. It's not a
Transfer it.
hobby. It has to be a lifestyle.
Exactly. Like if you're gonna lose weight and you're doing it just for a diet for a certain period of time, you're gonna gain the double the weight. But
Yes.
if you take it as a lifestyle, I'm avoiding sodas, I'm avoiding pizzas, I'm avoiding whatever. Now, after a while, you see your body is transforming, you know.
Absolutely.
And another thing, like I always teach my players, is like what they put in their body, like even at the early age, like know what to put in your body, because
Right.
the only body you have, and you're gonna play. If one injury, you can be one injury away from stopping playing that game.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't take care of yourself, I'm not gonna go extreme saying everybody gonna get injured, but if you put a good fuel in yourself and be in the right environment, sometimes you have to change environment. I
Yes.
changed my environment. I peaked wherever I was in Lebanon. I came here, challenged back, starting from zero, trying to do other stuff.
Right.
And then I find my way, and you know what? I'm climbing it again. I'm not satisfied. I'm happy where I am, but I'm always trying to be the best I can be. And not just me. How can I influence many, 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 many more people? How can I support
Absolutely.
myself to help others? And when you play the game, you always feel, I see always myself in those players.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, coach, this was awesome, man. You know, this was probably one of the best conversations I've had in a long time. You know, it was a pleasure having you on. You know, hopefully we can be able to speak again. You know, you're doing great things out there. You know, what you're doing for these kids, you know, you're teaching them the fundamentals of the game, you're teaching them skills, but you're also teaching them how to prepare for life. And that's the most important thing, you know, minus the skills that they're going to learn in regards to the physical stuff. You're preparing them mentally to have better lives, have more, you know, consistent behaviors and structures in their lives where they can be able to be successful in whatever avenue they're going into. So, you know, you deserve a lot of praise, a lot of kudos for that. And I definitely respect you for that. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes natural. Like I don't put effort the way that I do it, because this is my mindset. This is how I believe in it.
Right.
And when I believe in something, I want to do it. So again, the players also the same. When they believe in it, that's why I try to clear every thing that can distract them, so they can have the pure belief in their level, in their skills, and plus in life, you know,
Right.
because I mean, times are getting difficult, and there's too many misinformations everywhere,
Right.
too many bad things happening around us. But how can I be the influence? How can I change? I cannot change many things, but I can change my surrounding.
Absolutely.
Wherever you live that place with a positive environment. Like, you know, poor believe in those kids. I poor believe in them. You know, even
Definitely.
though sometimes they don't see it, but you know, inject in them the belief, inject in them that they can be a good human being. At the end of the
Yes.
day, basketball can stop and at any time. Hopefully not, but I mean, you know, but life goes on, and try to influence others. You know, like
Absolutely.
be a good human being at the end.
Absolutely. Definitely. So, you know, just let everybody know where they can be able to find you and what you have, you know, going on in the future.
I mean, I'm in Glendale right now. Even though I'm getting a lot of invitation to go to other states, but I don't know. For now, until I build a team,
Yeah.
I'm staying here. I have a responsibility towards those kids.
Absolutely.
They can find me on Instagram, coach_VE. I mean, they can shoot me question. I answer all of the questions.
Great.
If it's a serious basketball related question, not the stupid things. I always take time, even though I'm so busy. But
Yes.
but when I come home and I have a time, I go to my Instagram and answer all the questions that kids have. I have a lot of following from different states, and they always wish that I was there with them. But I mean, I always give them a pointer, or I mean, really, I honestly love what I do. Even if I'm
Absolutely.
doing it for free, I would have do it, you know. But
Right.
that's my passion. So hopefully, I can be influence as much kids I can or players I can.
Yeah, definitely, Coach. You're doing a hell of a job. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll definitely keep my eye out for you in regards to what you're doing and who you're training and all this stuff. So like I said, we'll talk again down the road, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you, Barry. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we didn't talk too much.
No. we talked for a while, but it was great. It was great.
It's like if you press my basketball button, I'm going on. And
yeah,
on.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same.
It's a big part of my life.
Absolutely. Listen, it shows you have a passion for it. So continue to do what you're doing, because you're doing a lot, and you're doing much more than a lot of people out there are doing. So you deserve the praise for that.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. So we'll talk again, Coach. Thanks again.
Thank you. More than welcome. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Coach V for coming on the show. Really insightful, passionate about what he does, his career, his journey. And you need people like that to be helping kids. You need people like that to help our young adults get to the next level. Guys that are passionate, men and women who are passionate about building character, building great people, as well as great athletes. So kudos to him, man. I'm a huge fan, and I'll continue to keep watching his success as he continues down this road. So shouts to Coach V. Coming up after the break, the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week, on a Saturday. It's All Even.
This is Cigar Gents and Gals. Just want to give a shout out to All Even Podcast, the best sports podcast out there. Keep up the amazing work. Also check us out at cigargentsandgals.com. We're everyday apparel for cigar smokers. Let's get it.
What's going on? What's up with you? It's your boy, the Candyman, the ALFRE to the D. It's your boy, Alfred from the Rap Lab Podcast.
And it's the one and only True G. Just call me the QG from the Rap Lab Podcast.
And you tuned in to All Even with Barry Grant.
Boy, that shit crazy.
Welcome back, y'all. So without further ado, the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
We pick candidates on Tuesday and Saturday, and then we pick the winner on that Saturday show. So respect to LeBron and Terry Bradshaw for holding their L's, but none of those dudes are the winners. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner is the Los Angeles Angels, the entire organization. The Los Angeles Angels are because in any other situation, a Hall of Famer, an icon, a legend would be glorified. They'd be, prepped up and propped up, and they're allowed to have their farewell tour. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the Los Angeles Angels thought differently. They thought that designating legendary slugger the Machine, Albert Pujols, for assignment, basically releasing him from the team, was in their best interest. How? He spent 9.5 years with this organization. Now you want to cut him because he's at the tail end of his career? Why wouldn't you just allow him to finish out his career, have his farewell tour, and be honored and appreciated for the legend that he is? Instead, you have this man looking crazy out here. It's embarrassing. But do I expect anything less from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim? No, I don't. First off, listen to the name. It's the most confusing thing you will ever hear. Are you the LA Angels or are you the Anaheim Angels? I don't even know where Los Angeles of Anaheim is. That's like when I was growing up. I grew up on the border of Rosedale, Queens, and Long Island. It wasn't Rosedale of Long Island. Nah, it was either you lived in Rosedale or you lived in Long Island. So it's always been confusing to me, but this is the organization. They're a confusing organization. Why? Because they do things backwards. They're idiots. You see, when you have an organization like this that thinks that they're
just as good as the big team in town, the Dodgers. They have this delusion of grandeur in their head that they can be able to operate this way. They have one World Series championship in their existence. They made a movie about these losers, angels in the outfield, because they've had a history of being bad. This is this team, so you can't expect this team to do anything right. They have arguably one of the greatest players of all time that they've drafted. He's played well. He's been here his entire career, and he's yet to play in a postseason because they can't put the proper pieces around him to be contenders. Idiots. They are the Clippers of Los Angeles. They operate in the basement, so they don't understand how things work on the surface where the light is. No, they're always basement dwellers, looking for the space heaters and the dehumidifiers and the blankets and the first down jackets because they're always in the basement. They have no idea what it feels like to be on top. No idea. So why should I expect anything different? I don't. It's still disgraceful though, but I don't expect anything from them. And their ticket prices is wild high too. Why am I going to spend big time money on the second-rate Los Angeles team when I got the Dodgers? Why would I do that? That's like buying a Chevy Malibu when I got Ben's money. Like, I'm not doing that. And Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, they should definitely look closely. Look very closely because you guys are producing now. You're young guys and sluggers. Once you get to Albert Pujols' age, be careful. Because you can obviously see that this team, this organization, has no loyalty for Hall of Famers. So the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and Sacramento and San Francisco and the West Coast, the front office will never see another World Series unless they buy tickets to one. But they are winners for Dummy of the Week. That's all for this show. That's all for this week. I'll see you guys on Tuesday, where my voice should be a little better. Until then, stay safe, stay cool. Peace. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at All Even Podcast. Listen to the show on Anchor, Spotify, SoundCloud, and wherever podcasts are available. And check out my YouTube channel, All Even Podcast. And don't forget to share, like, and hit that subscribe button.